Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel. We're live again, and I've just got to mute that because it nearly got me there. I've got the live stream up there in case we get any live questions that come in throughout this video. So yesterday, I believe it was, we hit 500 subscribers on the channel. All I can say is thank you. Really, I thank you for if you are subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. It means a lot, and hopefully, I've managed to provide you with some form of value or insight since I started the channel. And yeah, I thought 500 was a nice sort of round number, and a good place for me to sort of sit down, have a chat with you, sort of face to face, answer a few frequently asked questions or questions which I get asked either on Twitter, Facebook, email, and other bits and pieces. There's a few here which are quite broad questions which I get asked semi-frequently, actually. A lot of different people ask me some of these questions, so I figured why not put it on a video, and then I only have to answer them once, which is great. But yeah, of course, we are live. So if you are joined live, please feel free to say hi in the live chat. If you have any questions or want to talk about anything whilst we are live, feel free, kick it off in the chat section. I've got it open. I can see what's going on. And yeah, to give you a heads up, I've not forgotten, there will still be a video coming on the Google Pixel 2 comparison. There will be a video coming about eSeller Cafe and the growth that we've seen in that business, which we started back in March. It has exceeded expectations. James, thank you for joining, sir. 500, that's impressive. If you put that on a graph, has it gone up steeper? That's a great question. I will check the analytics. And James, 500, I have every faith that you will blow past my subscriber count within the next 3 to 6 months. I imagine you're seeing some great growth yourself. I have noticed. I've not checked the analytics graph, but I have noticed the numbers compound. They definitely compound. So the more subscribers you have, the more subscribers you seem to gain on a daily basis. Some days, you have quiet days, but largely the average has gone up, and it seems to continue to go up. So I wasn't going to do any screen sharing stuff today, but if I quickly jump into the analytics, there we go, analytics. And let's do subscribers. There we go. And let's do this year. It's funny, it stays pretty. I have a lot of those, and then I had one massive spike, which was down to Miles Beckler. So thank you, Miles, for that. And then the graph is going, the peaks are getting higher on a daily basis. So yes, it stays pretty level, but in the last 2 or 3 months, the spikes have been getting higher. So like 5 subscribers, 6 subscribers, 7 subscribers a day. The maximum, I'm only losing on the days that I do lose, which isn't that often. I'm only losing 1 a day. So that's not too bad. But yeah. We're not doing too badly there. Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun one. I don't know. It's weird the fact that it seems to have grown it seems to have carried on growth even when I stopped posting daily or week daily. So again, I guess but I did notice that a lot of people were finding my older content. So that's the power of YouTube. That's where you put that year in of creating content and that building that library of content. A great example is my Cyber Monday video. In fact, that's probably worth a recap on itself, because I did a Cyber Monday video back in 2016, and I think I did it around the 1st of November. So I was hoping I would catch I would newsjack it enough so that YouTube would get some views in, get some some sort of whatever YouTube juice in it, and it would start showing up in search rank. And I sort of gave it about a 3-week period, and the video did all right. It went to a few hundred, and then 2 days ago, a few days ago, probably last week, when Cyber Monday, Black Friday week was kicking off, that video spikes like it's past. I think it was nearly at 1,500 views, and that video was, say 3 months ago at 100 and something. So it had over 1,000 views from people looking for Cyber Monday 2017, and they were finding the video I made in 2016. So there is definitely a topic there about, it's not evergreen content, but it's content which has the potential to newsjack. I think it's important not to be too contemporary where content will date, so it's a bit more evergreen. Absolutely, and that is one of the things which I don't have a lot of on my channel. The evergreen stuff, it's a lot of people see evergreen content as how-to guides and courses like that, which for anyone who doesn't know is what one of the businesses that I'm involved with does a lot of. And I didn't really want to just repeat myself by doing how-to guides and everything else on the YouTube channel. And I know there's a lot of people who can do it very, very well already. So evergreen content for sure. I would say that the Cyber Monday video, Black Friday videos that I did were more seasonal videos where, they'll be quiet for months, and then when the time is right, they will pick back up interest. Evergreen stuff is definitely a good way to go. Like, for example, a good example of that, funnily enough, is the Google Pixel video, which is my most viewed video, whether that's because it's in a tech category, and obviously YouTube audiences love tech and gadgets, but the spikes on that are much higher, especially around the Pixel release dates. But even in the time in between, you can still see there's a lot of traffic looking for Google Pixel stuff. Yeah, it is something which I do want to try and do in 2018, is try and look at more evergreen content and what I can create that will give value over a prolonged period of time. But yeah, absolutely, especially in what you're doing, James, with your business's YouTube channel, evergreen content is great, because like I said, we've spoke about this many times before. If you especially in your game where you might get products that change every month, every couple of months, it's hard work. You're going to put all your effort into creating a video and know that within 2 months that product might be dead or no longer available. So been able to do evergreen stuff for sure is the way to go. Or not just the way to go, not the sole way to go, but it's great to have that bank of information to hand, and keeping that steady flow of content, which then helps people find your not so evergreen content. And for anyone who doesn't know what we mean by evergreen, just like the trees, it's content which people want to view all year round. It's like the opposite of newsjacking, really. A lot of my really successful video, not really successful, a lot of my most popular videos on YouTube have been newsjacked to a degree. Has eBay killed TerraPeak is a great example of that. I think I was one of the first people to get that video out, and I think that's my second most viewed YouTube channel. Sorry, my YouTube video, and that actually got passed around the TerraPeak office in Canada. So that led to much nicer discussions with the guys at TerraPeak. But yeah, evergreen stuff that is viewable or popular all year round, it's a little bit more tricky to do. Yeah, I think that is definitely a way to go. Now, on to some of the questions. Again, guys, James, thank you for asking a question. Great questions. Feel free to get involved in the live chat. I will jump in between as is necessary. I'm just going to do that and just mute my Skype. I get a feeling that a message was about to pop in and make lots of noise. So one question which I got asked a lot over the past few weeks and months, and I actually did a video about it. It's the last video on the channel. What do I think of Amazon Australia? Now, Amazon, for anyone who doesn't know, Amazon Australia launched this week, Tuesday, was it? Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday the 4th, I believe. and no, Tuesday, whatever it was sometime this week, and it got quite a lackluster reception from America, from Australia. Can't even get my words out today, guys. And now I need to mute my phone because that's kicking off. I knew something was going to start binging, and it was the phone. Yeah, sorry, right, Australia. It seems to have had a lackluster sort of response from the Australian market, and there's a few good reasons for that, and I go into much deeper in the last video on my channel about Amazon Australia. In fact, there's also a great sort of back and forth comment section with a chap called Les. I presume he's from Australia. In the comments, I think we've had like 30 comments in there now. He generally doesn't think Amazon's going to disrupt the market that much. I'm telling him that it will, purely because I've seen it. You know, I have the beauty of being able to look back at a. Oh, Les is with us. Les, thank you so much for joining, sir. Yeah, so I've had the beauty of being able to see the effect that Amazon has done here in the UK and certainly the US as well. And I totally get the points that Les is making, and a whole host of other. I think there's a chap called Craig as well in the comment section. Apologies if I got that wrong, but he also did a video and compared the products you could find on Amazon Australia right now to other sites. He basically did a price comparison site, and Amazon Australia right now is far too expensive. Their prices are not competitive even slightly. And I think there's a very good reason for that, is because they did a 500 seller invite only for the launch. And again, I talk about this in the video. What they've tried to do is spread their catalog as wide as possible. But by doing that, they haven't got multiple sellers selling the same thing, driving prices down. Right now, if you're a seller on Amazon Australia, well, I'd be surprised if you're making many sales due to the incredible prices that seem to be floating around there. They're not competitive. But I know the businesses. I know the businesses that are sat in the sidelines waiting for Amazon to open the floodgates so they can just upload their feed and be competitive on pricing. And that changes the game massively. The next big thing for Amazon Australia will come with Prime. I believe it's being touted for spring, summer, or our spring, summer next year. So maybe June, July 2018. Amazon Australia is hoping to have Prime shipping available. That will obviously rely on having multiple fulfillment centres. I've heard, again, that they're working on one in Sydney. They've got one in South Melbourne. And like I said, looking at the map again, Sydney's, I don't know, Adelaide, Melbourne, Canberra, Sydney, they're all sort of close, but yeah, the quick deliveries will come with more fulfillment centers, integrated Amazon logistics, and I think that is when Australia will really see the benefit of Amazon, along with the better pricing. I totally understand the prices have to be better, and they will be better due to third party. You know, you've got third party sellers selling on eBay right now. They can sell exactly the same price on Amazon. The fees are roughly the same. And that's the thing. I'm only saying this because I've seen it. I was here when UK launched, when Amazon launched in the UK, and we didn't have Prime, and not many people got it. And now I see how many people rely on it. It is fascinating. So yeah, Amazon Australia, I'm expecting big things. Me and Les have a sort of bet on as to whether it's going to be sort of revolutionary in Australia or not. I've sort of given myself 12 to 18. I'll give Amazon 12 to 18 months really to prove me right or wrong. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on it. Yeah, I think Melbourne is about 650 miles from Sydney. Yeah, so it would make sense. It would make sense for them to have another fulfillment center in Sydney. I mean, I'm not, Les, you'll know probably much better than I do about the populations of Australian towns and cities. But I mean, Melbourne seemed like a pretty good base for your first one. Perth is obviously on its own out on the west coast, but yeah, Sydney, Canberra. Well, Canberra would be put. Oh, yeah, Canberra's slightly close to Sydney, so Yeah, a second one in Sydney would make sense. Brisbane, again, I don't know the population. That's obviously further north. Darwin, I think, is going to struggle. Yeah, it's a curious one. It's one to keep an eye on, but it's Amazon. I don't bet against Amazon. You don't bet against richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. Okay, so the next question that I have that I get asked semi-frequently. In fact, I'm getting asked it more and more frequently at the minute. Do I have any Bitcoin, and what are my thoughts on cryptocurrency? So, yes, I do have Bitcoin. I also have Ethereum and Litecoin. My thoughts on crypto, my thoughts are I was too late to the party. I only got involved a few months ago. And I'm saying this today as Bitcoin just reached another all-time high. So let's have a check here. Coinbase. Yeah, oof. Has it just hit another all-time high? Yeah. Okay. Apparently it just hit £13,000. Which, let's check the US rate. Yeah, $16,500. So it's, I mean, that makes me smile, obviously having Bitcoin. And also, I do have some altcoins as well, but not many. But to give you an idea, I've almost, that bubble is going to burst. I don't know. I don't know. I've more than doubled my money in 2 or 3 months, I think it was. No, less than that. I've more than doubled my money in about just over a month. My biggest regret with it is that I looked at Ethereum and Bitcoin a year ago and was very, very tempted to get involved. And for whatever reason, I didn't know where to set up I didn't know where to set up an account. I didn't know where to. I was busy and I put it off and I put it off. And now I look at it and think, God, I wish I'd have put in the money that I have done a year ago, because that return would have been very nice. My thoughts on crypto. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert at all. James, I'm intrigued by. I'd like to ask you why it can't. James has put in a chat that bubble is going to burst. It has to go pop. There's no way it can climb forever. I'd love to know. I'd love to know your feelings why it can't carry on climbing. Bearing in mind, we've never seen anything like this before. And anyone who tries to compare this to tulip bulbs or the internet boom or the internet bubble, .com bubble, whatever you want to call it, it's very different. We're in a period of time now where we've not seen something like this before. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I genuinely am not. I'm not a stock trader, a market trader. I've dabbled. I've dabbled in stock markets and stuff before, but again, I do my research. And my thoughts on crypto are a lot of the big financial guys who are telling people it's a bubble, it's got a crash, it's either worth nothing or they work for a financial industry in the financial sector who very much do not like Bitcoin by its very nature. They try and spout that it's a currency for drug dealers. Obviously, that's where it sort of originated, on the dark web and Silk Road as a sort of untraceable currency. But now we see it coming more and more into the limelight, and the blockchain technology is actually a real thing, and it has the potential for many other uses outside of currency. So this leads, again, there seems to be two types of people. There's the internet people who are heavily getting involved in crypto, and then there's the financial sector who just keep shouting louder and louder that the bubble's going to burst. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand. Les says any currency not backed by gold is very sus. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's very hard to get your head around the fact that it's not a physical currency. And how can something so digital be worth so much money? There's two ways of looking at it. And I mean, you look at how best to explain this. So again, the financial sectors like Morgan Stanley, Warren Buffett have come out and sort of slated Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as saying it's not a true currency. It cannot, it's not going to become a thing. It's a bubble. It's going to burst. But then you get the likes of Gary Vaynerchuk, heavily invested in Bitcoin back in 2013. I say heavily invested. He said in a recent video he bought $25,000 worth of Bitcoin back in 2013 or 2012. And I actually looked into that at the price that it was going around then. His £25,000 or $25,000 now is worth over $500,000. In fact, it's now probably worth closer to 750 million. Sorry, 750,000, $250,000. Sorry, $750,000. Jesus, Dave, get your numbers right. So, I mean, and then there's Grant Cardone. Apparently, he's involved in Bitcoin. Friend of mine, Peter Shankman, he's involved in cryptocurrencies. And then you have the Winklevoss twins, who apparently this week became the first Bitcoin billionaires, because when they sued Mark Zuckerberg years and years ago, if anyone's seen the film, The Social Network, the Winklevoss twins apparently helped Zuckerberg found it, thought it was part of their idea. I believe the reports are Zuckerberg paid them off $40 million. Apparently back in 2011 or 2012, the Winklevoss twins invested $11 million in Bitcoin, and that is now worth over $1 billion. If they were to take it out today. So, I mean, there's the internet people get it. They believe that crypto is a way forward. We now have Venezuela looking at bringing on their own national cryptocurrency. And then it gets very interesting the more sort of acknowledged or not legislated, but the more recognized it becomes, especially at that level, it becomes very interesting. Rumors that McDonald's were going to start accepting Bitcoin payments in 2018. I can't see it happening, but it's a curious one. Obviously, Amazon have been registering domain names for Ethereum, Litecoin, crypto. They've already had Bitcoin for a while. They could just be protecting their brand name, or they could be looking into getting involved. Again, if anyone is going to understand the potential, it's someone like Jeff Bezos. So my thoughts on crypto, I am involved, although not heavily. I find Bitcoin curious. I think I'm just going to hold Bitcoin and see what happens. I'll probably set a sell marker, so as soon as it dips to a level that I'm not happy with, it will sell. I think altcoins are very curious. I've seen a lot of very quick wins. I mean, last week, one of the coins I was watching went up 125% in a day. I hadn't bought any. I was watching it. So again, I know people. I've got friends of friends who are making a lot of money just through buying and selling cryptocurrencies right now. Do I think it's here to stay? Yes. Do I think it's a bubble? I personally don't think it's a bubble, because I don't think we've seen anything like it before. And I think the biggest threat to Bitcoin is if governments started wanting to get involved, and then it's going to really make things nervous. Les, I'd be a bit nervous with a currency whose value can be changed with a keystroke. Could say exactly the same with normal currency, with the Forex. It pretty much works exactly the same way these days. My biggest thing right now is I think the reason why we're seeing such a climb is that Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, is getting such an awareness around it. It's in the news, all-time high. It's on Twitter, Facebook. that people are now thinking that they need to get involved. And I mean, I'm part of this crowd. You know, I'd looked at it for a year, and then I thought I'm just going to take a punt with it and see what happens. But now we're getting people who haven't done research on it, who haven't looked at blockchain, who haven't looked at how it all works and things like that. And they're getting involved because they feel that they're missing out. And it's that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And that's, as obviously, it's pushing demand up. More people are demanding it, the price goes up. So my worry is that, for example, the next big marker is going to be $20,000. Did I just say it was at 16.5? I think it is. I think when it gets to 20,000, that's going to be a big indicator, because I think at 20,000 we're going to see a lot of people sell, and that's going to cause panic and maybe the next big crash. Will it recover? I genuinely think it will. Again, you've seen a lot of predictions of Amazon Australia, Bitcoin. I get it. I exactly. I know James, Les. I was exactly the same. I thought it was a bubble. It's got to burst. And then I started doing some reading about it and started doing getting a little bit more involved in trying to understand the concept. And it's, only ever gamble with what you can afford to lose, right? And that's, like I said, that's why I've not got a lot of money in cryptocurrencies. I wish, like I said, a year ago, I'd I was in a better position financially, and also, yeah, it would have been a lot cheaper, and it would now be worth a lot more. But yeah, interesting. The next question I got asked. This was sent on a message on Facebook. It was, Dave, do you only have 2 jumpers? Right. Okay. So yeah, I do. I have my 2 usual jumpers, a black and a grey one. I have 3 grey jumpers. I have this 1 black one. I also have 3 grey t-shirts, 3 black t-shirts, and 3 green t-shirts. So whilst it looks like I may only have a very limited wardrobe, this is actually my idea of sort of lifestyle hacking. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to wear. I always have a grey, a green, or a black t-shirt, and I usually have a grey or a black hoodie lying around. It's very much like Steve Jobs. Always used to wear the black roll neck and the blue jeans. I don't go out. I work here, so I don't have to worry about looking good. I just wear things that are comfy and that tend to go with my clothes. So yeah, that's I always do. I wondered how long it would take before someone pulled me up on how often I wear the same clothes. Yeah, I do wear clean clothes, I promise. This was actually asked. I went to lifestyle hacking. That's something exactly, James. It's lifestyle hacking. Look it up. It's fascinating. I now don't take long thinking about what I'm going to wear every day. So yeah, hacking, getting that time back. Now this comes in a 2-part question. This was asked. I went to a meetup a couple of weeks ago. And I'm actually I'll come on to this. Is another question I got asked yesterday. But part of I've been asked to do a talk at a meetup event, so it was at this. I was actually just attending this meetup event, and I got asked this there. What would I focus on in e-commerce for 2018? Now this is again, very, very great question, but it's also very vague because it gets into the sort of predicting realm, and someone did ask me what my predictions were for 2018 as well. So on this question, what would I focus on in e-commerce for 2018? If I was a seller, and I will also acknowledge I am currently helping a seller, and I'm actually hands-on with them. Yeah, For me, it's two ways. If you are starting out selling online in e-commerce, marketplaces are still the way to go. They will give you the quickest turnaround, the quickest bang for your buck, the quickest return on initial investment. You get products, you list them. You can, again, I think my quickest sale from listing to selling on eBay was 6 minutes. So if I was getting started fresh, still eBay and Amazon are the way to go. If you're getting involved in Amazon, I would have some equity, or I would have some stock in FBA if the product is right. So if you're selling big, heavy items, FBA probably doesn't work out financially. But if it's smaller, lighter things, your smallest, lightest things, send some to FBA just so you get the Prime logo next to your name here in the UK and the USA and around Germany as well. That's I would definitely say it's worth having some stake in FBA just because of the awareness it brings potentially to the rest of your products as well. Still do eBay. eBay's not going anywhere. But my big focus would be website. So if you are doing marketplaces, Amazon and eBay, at the same time, start building your website. Get a domain name, get some hosting set up. It doesn't have to be great. And yes, the website is the expensive one, but put together, do it over a period of time. You're never going to don't spend like 15 grand, 10 grand, 5 grand on a website. Spend 100 quid on a theme, get it looking sort of decent, and then start generating, start building up an email list, do the social stuff, start a blog, content creation, videos on YouTube, and start building your website. Your website will never become the biggest. The website is the hardest one to grow. And that's why I utilize the marketplaces in the beginning to bring the sales in, to get the cash, the profit in order to invest into a website. And then that's what I would say would be my focus for 2018. For any e-commerce seller, focus on your website. Don't put all your business into marketplaces, because you're putting all your business in the hands of another business that can potentially put you out of business. James, I've made a massive investment in marketing this year and it's getting there. Still a long game. Absolutely. And you are one of the standout people, James, when I look at the marketing efforts that you've done, especially on your YouTube channel over at Hobbybase. Shout out Hobbybase. Go and check it out. But again, on Facebook Live as well, it's driving traffic to your website, and it is a long game. And it is, if you're not investing money, you invest in time, and it's not a quick win, but it's long term. And that's where I think, again, I'm not interested in building quick wins. I'm interested in building long term gains, and that's what I try and bring to the table for others as well. So. Yeah, for e-commerce 2018, content marketing, video content is going to be huge. But build a website, build a brand. Drop shipping is going to die even more than it already is. Private labeling will become the new drop shipping, building brands. And yeah, that's what, if I was selling, for the people who I am dealing with directly, selling, that's what I would recommend. And to anyone else, I would recommend exactly the same. Is, that's what I would do. That's what I am doing for people I'm involved with. Les has asked, ever thought of setting up a green screen studio? I have. In fact, you can actually get like backdrop, and it would fit here. This is not a big space. I'm about 6 foot something. So as you can see, it wouldn't take a huge green screen behind me. It's something I've thought about. I'm just not sure what I would do with the green screen, other than make it look like I was working. I can't make it like I'm working on a beach. I slag those people off all the time on Instagram. Yeah, I have thought about either getting a backdrop or something to clear all this shit that you can see over here, cameras and lenses and books and wraps from the gym and towels and books, and you get the idea. I have thought about it. I I don't think that printer on the top shelf has ever moved. It may not have moved, but as you can see, the blue light it is on. I had to scan something earlier, so it doesn't have to move, but it does work. In fact, I can prove it because I can. Oh, there we go. That's something I was scanning literally earlier. So yeah, the printer has a purpose. It isn't just decoration. For people who, for some reason, don't like emails, they want me to scan documents instead of sending images. No, it is very much alive. In fact, if I press this button, it'll probably start making a noise. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, but no, I have thought about the setting, and actually, a good friend of mine who you may have seen on the channel before, Theo Hoffman. He's looking at. I think he's looking at setting up a studio space in Wolverhampton. We have spoken and thrown ideas around a number of times about doing stuff. Doing stuff to, whether it be YouTube shows, Facebook live shows, talking about business and entrepreneurship. He's actually looking at getting a studio space, and we have thrown ideas around about doing stuff like that. So yeah, there's definite, maybe in 2018 we'll see some new locations. Gadeep, thank you for joining. So your current setup does show an authentic look into an entrepreneur's life. It absolutely does. This is because it's real, and it's so funny. Gadeep, I know you've seen this in real life. People come in and go, "Oh, so this is where you do the videos." I was like, "No, this is just where I work. This is literally where I spend the vast majority of my day." So yeah, this is real. This is authentic. I do like the stock exchange idea, Les. That would be quite fun. I mean, I don't talk about the stock exchange that much, but or Bitcoin, but yeah, could do like the eBay headquarters backgrounds. I don't know. I could do. I'll see. Something to play with for sure. Might make certain videos more interesting. Especially after the comment the other day that someone said, "Sorry, you're really boring." I was like, brilliant. Thank you for your brutal honesty. I love it. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. 2018, there's loads of ideas I have, but it's just knowing which ones to pull the trigger on. But yeah, maybe we'll see some stuff with Theo in the new year. Next up was my predictions for 2018 e-commerce. A friend of mine, Peter Shankman, again, check him out. He's a fantastic guy. He does so many things. He launched Harrow and then sold that, and then he now does the Faster Than Anything podcast, where he has ADHD, and he's sort of bringing awareness to ADHD and how it's a superpower, not a disability of any sort. Peter Shankman, fantastic guy. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with him once in Thailand, once in Barcelona, and we keep threatening next time I'm in New York or next time he's in Manchester, we'll catch up. But fantastic guy. But he wrote a piece, funnily enough, this morning on Medium, and said, I don't know why it is, whether it's too much eggnog or mince pies, but around this time of year, everybody thinks that they can see into the future. And it's true. Everybody starts wanting to make predictions about 2018 and all the rest of it. The reality is I've got absolutely no idea, just as much as anyone else. My personal predictions, if I was to look at where I think, being a history student from years ago with my history degree, I believe to know where you're going, you have to have know where you've been. And e-commerce, that's something which I have the pleasure of knowing. So to know where we've been, I do think Amazon's only going to get bigger. There's going to be more and more audience on Amazon. They're going to keep building out Prime, same-day deliveries. More people in the UK are going to start competing with same-day delivery. So it's not only just going to be an Amazon thing. We already have ASOS, who are running a trial in London for Christmas. I think more and more, expect the likes of Argos, and again, the big Tesco, the people with the big logistics capabilities already. Expect those guys to start getting a little bit more savvy with same-day delivery, and then expect them to start becoming partnered with e-commerce stores. Video. I'm a huge advocate of video content. In fact, over on eSeller Cafe, I published a story earlier, which was the in fact, let me get the title for you because I think it's pretty significant. There's a study out there which is predicting that by 2023, video consumption will make up 75% of mobile traffic. It's a curious one. Video, I think, is only going to carry on. It's only going to get bigger. Facebook Watch is something I am watching very closely. It's Facebook Watch it's currently in beta in the US. I did fill out a form to be part of their UK program when it rolls out. Whether they'll accept me or not, who knows? I'm a mere pauper in terms of creating video content, but I think Facebook Watch, that could be a game changer. YouTube should be aware, if not worried, about that, because Facebook has 2 billion users. You know, they have an audience. So, yeah, again, I think 2018, the year of the video, will largely, especially in e-commerce, again, building brands is going to be so important. For anyone who, you know, I'm going to put together a case study on Boohoo and Pretty Little Thing here from Manchester, because they have basically shown you exactly how to do it. They started out on marketplaces, and now Pretty Little Thing's doing partnerships with Kourtney Kardashian in LA and having adverts on Times Square. You know, they really are taking the world by storm, and I think there's a lot people can learn by building brands. So yeah, I think that's 2018. The marketplace is going to continue to grow, especially Amazon. eBay will hopefully come out with some more clever tech stuff. That seems to be what they've been doing recently with their new image search function. Yeah, and building brands, building websites, but video content, more content creation, more mobile optimization. It just makes more sense. More people are shopping online on mobiles now than ever before. Yeah, that's the main predictions. I don't think anything too untoward is coming in e-commerce. I mean, obviously AR as well. I should say AR, augmented reality apps, are really going to be a game changer. The downside of that is, as it's such new technology, it's going to be very expensive for smaller guys to get involved with, unless they can then build it into the Amazon platform or the Amazon marketplace and things like that. So AR, we're going to see much more of it. VR, I think, is still a little bit far away. But yeah, they're my main predictions for 2018 e-commerce. Whether they're right or not, probably, who knows? I've got as much idea as you have as far as the future goes. A couple of questions come in. Les, have you thought about the economy if North Korea turns ugly? Any backup plans on that? Ooh, well, Les, I'm glad you asked this question, because this is you're now piquing my politics interest. My history and politics degree is coming in very useful today. If North Korea turns ugly, so. And James has said Trump seems intent on ruffling feathers in the world after yesterday. I think 2018 is going to be turbulent, to say the least. Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's to the point where you've got two absolute lunatics, both with very deadly weapons, falling out with each other. It doesn't make for a safe feeling on the inside, really. So what does this... do I have a backup plan? No. I mean, if we're talking nuclear war, I'm not really sure anybody really has a backup plan other than the super rich who apparently have underground bunkers. So, do I have a backup plan? Not really. Will the internet get turned off? Probably not. If it does, it'll be one of the first things to be brought back online. So, I'm not overly too concerned about that. Will e-commerce stop? No. In fact, e-commerce will probably be where most people turn to in order to have things delivered to their home. So I think, again, in the event of any sort of mass, the thing is, I don't even think we're going to see a war. I really don't. Does anybody think Kim Jong-un has a chance? Really? Trump is the type of person who we have seen, like, what would happen to the market? What, the stock market or the e-commerce market? I mean, it's one of those. It's going to affect the world either way. Okay. Could North Korea attack America? Yes. That is perhaps the most likely scenario. We already, there was room. They threw up a few false flags that they were going to attack Guam a few months ago. Basically, America turned up with a load of boats and went, I wouldn't if I were you. And then everything calmed down again. And then they've just done another missile test with a new long-range nuclear warhead thing, blah, blah, blah. So North Korea is the volatile one. I don't think America's going to start anything. If anything's going to start, it's going to be North Korea. Does North Korea, in my opinion, have the backing of China and Russia? No, it doesn't. Yes, China is still sort of friendly with North Korea, but they would not back any sort of military action against the USA, as neither would Russia, especially now we found out Trump and Putin are really good friends, allegedly. So I just don't see it happening. America will not make the first move. America will only defend itself. North Korea is the one that we have to be aware of. As soon as they fire anything, America's missile defense systems are so good. The chances of a nuclear bomb ever hitting the mainland are incredible. But as soon as they fire anything in anger, America will respond, and I imagine blow North Korea off the map. So I think gone are the days of, especially in this case, traditional warfare. I think one bomb on Pyongyang would pretty much call an end to it. But I'm not concerned. As an entrepreneur, we react to things, and that's ultimately it. I don't see a point in having a doomsday plan on what would happen if, because then I'd have to have 1,000 plans, 99.9% of which I'd never use. Could something happen? Yeah, it could. But I mean, there's the argument that if something was going to happen, it would have happened already. And like I said, the USA is one of the largest, if not the largest, military power in the world, and North Korea is not. So I genuinely don't think if something does kick off, I don't think it's going to have too much of a catastrophic effect. Like I said, I don't think Russia and China are going to get involved physically. I don't see what I'd need to. Mainly thinking of markets, economy, currency. Okay. Americans do love a war, and their economy does love a war. But I think globally, I don't. I think it would be over that quickly. I don't think if there was any crash in the markets, they would bounce back very, very quickly. North Korea doesn't have much sway on global markets. Obviously, the unknowns is what China and Russia would do. They are the two other superpowers who are more likely to oppose America, and that could there could be sanctions, especially if the UN gets involved. And yeah, there could be. It would all get tied up in red tape very, very quickly. Do have a backup plan if. I mean, no, it literally, it's all about reacting. It really is. And there's no point in, can I change what could happen? No. Do I know what could happen? No. So it's not worth my time or effort trying to predict that. My best thing is just to react to it the best way that I can under the circumstances that present themselves. That's my feeling on it. And again, whether for right or for wrong, I'm genuinely not that concerned. There's people who get paid a lot more than I do, who are much more intelligent than I am, worrying about North Korea and the USA. So I'm just worrying about e-commerce and entrepreneurship. Next up, what are my personal goals for 2018? I'd like to make more money. That would be, I think that's on everybody's sort of to-do list. I would like, I'd like eSeller Cafe. I've got high hopes for eSeller Cafe next year. That is the news site which I'm involved with, the e-commerce news website. I think there's going to be a really good year for eSeller Cafe next year. The other business I run in, got loads of things planned for that. Lots of software stuff that we want to be working on. Travel wise, I would like to go back to Asia. Again, that will depend on circumstances and all that sort of stuff. But my own personal goals is just to try and be healthy and or to be healthier, keep up with the gym stuff, try and eat better, and not lose sight of the important stuff. Not get too bogged down with work that you forget to spend time with friends and family. I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. So I think I've got better at it, and I'd also goals for 2018. I want to get much better at golf. I sort of got back into golf this year. I'd like to properly give that a much more of my time and attention next year. Yeah, and that's it. It's just keep on. As long as my friends and family are healthy and the business carries on growing, and I'd love my YouTube channel to carry on growing. I'm going to keep on posting content here, which I think is either of value or interesting or even entertaining to people. I did mention potentially doing car or golf videos on the channel. Again, something I would like to do. Again, passions of mine. We will see. Goals. I'm not a big fan of resolutions. I just know deep down what I want to work towards. And yeah, that's pretty much my goals for 2018. Next, the final one I've got written down is, will I review XYZ? I get asked this multiple times, whether either through YouTube messages, through Facebook messages, through emails, software companies reaching out, basically saying, oh, will you review this product? If for every person you recommend, we will pay you 25%, 20%, 30%. Right. So I'm going to go out here on a limb. I may have said this previously, but any software that you see me publicly talk about on this channel, I have either used myself and recommend, or I truly recommend it as I have tried it and I recommend it, but personally have no need for it. So that's it. Will I review it? So I get asked all the time, will I review? Someone reached out to me this morning and said, will you review my software product? And it turns out it does exactly the same thing as another product, which I've already recommended on this channel. And it's like, well, why? Why? Tell me why. If you've got a good reason why yours is better than theirs, then tell me it and let me have a play with it, and then we'll see. I will never just review something on this channel because they're paying me to do it, or I'm getting some sort of affiliate deal. I've always been very open. Like, for example, the two main companies that I've worked with, Zik Analytics and Terapeak, they are a very similar company, very similar companies. I reviewed Zik Analytics because they told me they had a semi-solution to what Terapeak had lost. So that I tried it, I played with it, I did the demo, I did all that sort of stuff, and yeah, it was it answered a question which Terapeak had not answered. So I showed you that on this channel, and again, it's been a very well viewed video. And then Terapeak got in touch after I told you my video went around their offices after I accused eBay of killing them, and they reached out and said, Dave, you're absolutely right in what you said, but we've been busy working on this stuff. Let us show you it. Tell us what you think. And again, I was very much impressed. So I then did a video on what Terapeak had done, their new software features. So again, and I've been a user of Terapeak for years in the past. So again, it was one of those where there was a sort of workaround for competitor research, but not as clean as it once was. Yeah, James, Zik was just okay for me. Tried it for a few months, but dropped it eventually. Yeah, I mean, it worked. It was nice. It wasn't as polished as Terapeak, but you got to remember, at the time when I recommended them, there was no other solution that I was aware of. So I figured it was filling a hole for people who had dropped Terapeak. Terapeak, I believe, will always be at the top of the quality tree just because they've been around for so long. They've got so much financial backing. You know, they're a proven business. They've been in business over 10 years now. And it just looks nice. It's nice to use. It's quick as well. The new stuff uses AWS super fast. And this software that reached out today was basically another Zik Analytics mixed in with a Jungle Scout. And again, Jungle Scout is another one which I should probably do a video on, because I know Greg. I again think it's a great product. They were one of the first people out there doing it. I know there's now several other people doing it, copying what they've done. But yeah, so again, anything that you see me review software-wise, I don't do it for the money. This channel does not make me any money. There's no adverts, as you probably know. Yeah, people don't send me things. I don't do product reviews, obviously. So yeah, Terapeak gave me a free account so I could do the video with, as did Zik Analytics. That's about as much benefit as I've gotten. So yeah, anything that you hear me recommend is something that only I would use or have used in the past. Yeah, so yeah, fun one to get out there. Will I review XYZ? No, not unless I find it's good or valuable to you watching the videos. So yeah, with that said, that was the main questions that I got asked sort of semi recently. I like to sort of do these Q&As every now and again. How long have we been going today? It's been quite a while. I have no idea. But yeah, if anyone's got any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I will let you crack on with the rest of your day. Give you a heads up of what's coming up. Again, I will be doing a video on the power of content marketing as a whole, and the story behind eSeller Cafe. I'll show you some of the charts, basically how quickly we've grown in 9 or 10 months now. And all in all, we've spent less than $100 on marketing eSeller Cafe. So again, eSeller Cafe is a fun one, because now we are really starting to commercialize that business, monetize it, and a lot quicker than we had originally anticipated. So that's a video I'd like to do on that. I would like to do a video on YouTube video history, I guess, sort of, you know, how, again, the story about the Cyber Monday video, how it basically took a year for that video to boom. Again, I think there's value there. Again, if you are doing videos for your business, looking for that evergreen or that seasonal content, which doesn't just you know get viewed once or twice and then dies. When are you coming to Sydney? Les, I have been threatening to come to Australia ever since I was in Manila. So that was 2 years ago when I got to Manila. And I went to Manila and Bangkok. We have a team based out in the Philippines, and they're all around the Philippines, but we have 3 near central Manila. And then I had a week's long conference in Thailand. me and Mark, my business partner, out there for 2 weeks. And now looking at the map about how far, to give you, there's a little pin in the map. You can't see it. There's the Philippines, and here's Sydney. So, and we're all the way over here. So it's, when am I coming to Sydney? The next time I get close enough, if I'm not coming directly, I really want to make my way there. Because I've never been to Australia. I've got loads of friends in Australia, loads of businesses who I work with in Australia, and I've never been. I'd also really like to go to New Zealand as well. So yes, Les, it is on my list to do, as is quite a lot of this area, to be honest. I'd like to do Cambodia, Vietnam. It depends how good of a year we have next year, I guess. If all the businesses do very well and things ticking along nicely, then yeah, hopefully I can make Australia. I can tick that off the bucket list, because again, Sydney. I can't see it. I can't see it on the map. Is Manly near Sydney? Because I know a lot of people who live near Manly. So if Australia is on the to-do list, Manly's probably going to be there. And if that's near Sydney, then we're on to a winner. But yeah, so that's I'd love to go to Australia. I just love Asia, really. Oceania, Asia is a great part of the world. But yes, that's everything, I think. Yeah, so we got a couple of videos coming up, the Google Pixel 2 comparison. North Sydney. Right, fantastic. So yeah, if I do come to Australia, Sydney is most likely going to be the place I go. So yeah, what else is coming up? I've got loads of ideas of stuff. Again, I'd like to get some more interviews. I think there's a lot of value in interviews. The last person we had on was Hannah. Maybe getting James on. James, maybe if you're up for a chat, be able to talk about your journey into marketing this past few months, if not years. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value in interviewing fellow entrepreneurs doing cool things. So yeah, that's what we can hopefully expect to see more of over the next few days and weeks on the channel. There's nothing. I've got 4 spare bedrooms in a 2-level house. 4 spare bedrooms. Les, who has 4 spare bedrooms? I'm jealous. Les, you must drop me an email and tell me. I'd love to know more what you do. I presume if you do, I presume you sell online or do something. Yeah, be cool to find out what it is that you do. But with that said, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've been talking way too long. I've no idea how long this has been going on for. Yeah, just checking. Got loads of emails and stuff. So yeah, I should go and crack on with the day job. With that said, I just want to say thank you once again, anyone who has subscribed. For the 500 subscribers, I hope that I can look back in a year's time and go, 500 subscribers, wasn't that cute? Electronic tech, cool. Yeah, Les, I'll drop you a message after this, and we can chat and link up. But I really enjoyed our discussion yesterday about Amazon Australia. So yeah, I'll track you down. But yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for subscribing. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, like I said, hopefully in a year's time, I can look back and go, wow, 500 wasn't that nice. I've now got 1 million. Yeah, as if. But yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. This channel will continue. I enjoy doing it and share the journey of what's going on with the businesses that I'm involved with. With that said, guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend, great Friday, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you then.